Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, I'm Katie. I'm a registered dietitian, and today I wanted to chat about grocery shopping on a budget, my tips, tricks, pieces of advice. Just let's have a conversation about it. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on my future videos. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about comes from a place of me trying to encourage people to eat more fruits and vegetables. And I find that people tend to put fresh produce on a pedestal, you know, the freshest, the organic, that is the healthiest for you. And if you can't buy that, then, you know, that's the end all be all. Can't buy anything else. And that makes me so sad because we have fresh produce, we have frozen, and we have canned. There is no significant nutritional difference between the three, and all three of them can play a huge role in not only accessibility to fruits and vegetables or produce in general, but they can also help you strategize and stay more budget friendly with your grocery shopping. Now, don't get me wrong, all three of them do have different perks. For instance, fresh produce, maybe you're looking for a specific texture. You want something crunchy, you want the leafy greens, maybe you want a specific taste. Maybe if you have a local farmer's market you like to go to, it's really great to stimulate local economy, make connections with farmers, and buy fresh produce that way. Frozen produce is also really great. I love frozen produce with this weird passion inside of me because not only can I go to a bulk food store like Costco or anywhere similar and buy huge bags of frozen produce for a lot cheaper, it also helps me cut down on my food waste. And food waste is so huge, and I think a lot of the times we forget how much that impacts how much we're spending on food. If we're throwing it away or throwing money away. So some perks with canned food is that it's so shelf stable. Again, shelf stability or stability in the freezer, it really helps cut down on food waste. This is how I purchase my beans or my canned tomatoes. I love it. And it's really convenient because if I'm wanting to add a little bit more plant-based protein or beans to something, I just have to open the can and it's all set, ready to go. The one thing that I want you guys to be aware of with canned food is to make sure that you check the ingredients. So if I'm buying black beans, for instance, the only ingredient on there should be black beans. Maybe it's in water or a little bit of salt, maybe a preservative. That's all fine. It's really easy to drain the beans, rinse them with some water, and remove some of that excess salt. My second piece of advice is to meal plan with similar foods. And what I mean by this is I want you guys to start thinking of recipes that have a lot of ingredients in common. And this can seem a little tricky at first, especially if you're not used to meal planning in general. But start thinking about, oh, if I make rice, what other things can I make with it? If I make quinoa or any other grain, how can I make it versatile to fit in with my lunch and my dinner? Maybe my quinoa can be a base for a salad bowl for lunch. Maybe my quinoa can be a side to my entree for dinner. Maybe I can make a sauce to cook my tofu in, and I can also use that sauce as a salad dressing. The possibilities are literally endless, but the more ingredients your recipes have in common, the less ingredients that you're buying at the store. And if you're buying more of one ingredient, chances are you can get it in bulk, and bulk foods do tend to be cheaper. But I want to emphasize to you guys that you can make eating healthy as complex or as simple as you want to make it. You don't need a million ingredients to make things delicious or healthy. My third piece of advice is to strategize with the stores in your area and keep an eye out for sales or foods that tend to be priced lower. And what I mean by this is like explore Target, explore Walmart, go to Sprouts or Costco, figure out what is available in the area that you live in, because I found that doing this has helped me so much. And it's really weird how certain items are priced so much cheaper at different places. So for instance, when I was in El Paso, maple syrup was so much cheaper at Target compared to Sprouts. Living here, I noticed that peanut butter is so much cheaper at Costco compared to Whole Foods. Just little things like that. The little things add up, let me tell you. You can also get a feel for what kind of specials certain stores have. Maybe Like for instance, Kroger may have 2-for-1 sales on frozen vegetables more often than other places. Maybe if you shop at Whole Foods and you're an Amazon Prime member, you can keep an eye on sales that way and you can meal plan accordingly. And when you do find things on sale that you tend to use a lot of or really frequently, stock up so that you can save your future self from spending money on a regular priced item. Just stock up. I do this so much with frozen vegetables, it's a little bit crazy. So my last piece of advice isn't really grocery shopping, but it definitely plays a huge role in saving you money. And that's if you notice you tend to make too much food and at the end of the week you're throwing food away. And if you're doing this, I want to encourage you to invest in some shallow Tupperware so that when things start to get to the end of their life, you can just freeze them and have those meals ready to go for another time. And this is great for people that don't necessarily like meal prepping and having that repetitive nature of meals throughout the week. If you have meals that are ready to go and frozen, all you have to do is heat them up and you have that variety. So freezing food is such a game changer. I couldn't tell you guys how many loaves of bread I've saved when I started freezing them. RIP to all those loaves of bread that have gone bad on me in the past. I'm sorry. But seriously, I buy bread at Costco. It comes in 2 loaves. There's no way we're eating 2 loaves in 1 week, so I started freezing one while we all eat the other. And I have not thrown away a single moldy loaf of bread since we got here. I freeze bread, even if we're working on a loaf but we haven't had any bread in a while, I'll toss a half loaf into the freezer as well. Like, I just don't want to waste it. Alright guys, I hope this video was helpful, and to help summarize everything that I talked about today, be sure to check out the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this on Instagram, check out the link in my bio for a free grocery shopping on a budget guide, just to help you out and to help summarize everything that I'm talking about. As always, if you guys have any questions or topics you want me to address in future videos, don't hesitate to leave that down below, and I will see you next week.